Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Get in the Herd. We are a recovery podcast brought to you by the lovely McShin Foundation. I'm your host, Alex Bond. I am a person in sustained recovery from a substance use disorder, which means that for 15 months, I have not found the need to put any mood or mind-altering substances, aside from Monster Energy drinks and cigarettes, in my body.
We are in no way, by the way, getting funded by Monster.
No
but we
free
can
ads.
take money.
But if y'all want to reach out to us, feel free. Happy New Year's Eve, everybody. We got a real special show for you. I'm here with my brother in arms, Nathan. How are you doing, brother?
Damn, man, I am good. I would love to see some of that Monster money flow. Yeah, right. Stacks and stacks and stacks. You know, Monster, and this is not a plug, but Monster really does fuel recovery.
Fuels.
Like fuels, yeah. Monster fuels recovery. Boy, I sound silly. Hey, Honesty, good to see you up there. So I am doing fantastic. We have 35 minutes of clips. We have a whole year's worth of favorites to go over today. And I think I saw a little bit of what Todd over there, hi Todd, by the way, what he was doing. I think we got some really cool stuff to look at. Yeah. So with that, I mean, go ahead, Alex. I'm just rambling.
So no, it is New Year's Eve. It's usually kind of a unique day in the recovery community throughout my life in general. I feel like New Year's Eve has been a underwhelming holiday. I think that's usually based on my expectations, but especially in recovery, it can be a very triggering holiday, just as much as, you know, Thanksgiving and Christmas, but New Year's Eve especially, because it's usually associated with going out and partying in general. So we have decided to do a little year in review recap where we've got some clips from podcasts that we've done throughout the year. I think kind of like our top 5 that we'll talk about and expound on like why it was important to us. And then hopefully we'll also be able to talk about some goals that we have for the next year, and both personally and professionally. We'll see how we do on time. But with that said, Todd, what you got in store for us?
Well, the first one was actually predates 2020. It actually goes back to the birth of the idea of Get in the Herd.
The origin story.
The origin. So, you know,
There's a comet coming at Earth.
Jordan Sachs was very instrumental with the whole.
Shout out to Jordan.
With the whole name
Shout
of
out
Get in
Jordan.
the Herd. And so, you know, so I just took a little clip back to one of our very first Get in the Herd live feeds that we ever did. This is from about two years ago. So with that, here we go. So, and your guys' microphones are hot.
What's going on, y'all? We're live here at the McShin Foundation. My name is Jordan. I'm here with Harold. This is Get in the Herd. This is the weekly video series that brings you into the lives of participants here. We know a lot of y'all might be alumni, family members of people in recovery. You might be in early recovery, and this is a way to bring you into what's going on here. We're going to be trying to do this once a week. And so, we're just getting started. Today's our first day. We've done some YouTube posts for this Get in the Herd series, but we thought it would be best to go live. This is our way to broadcast to you, especially if you can't make it up here. Another great thing about this is, some people watching might be afraid. You might have started following the McShin Foundation as a person early in recovery, and you don't really know, what to do. This is a way that even at home, even if you're struggling, even if you're using, you can watch this and get a message of hope. So I guess we're just going to talk to Harold here about, his story and his experience at the McShin Foundation. And once again, we are Virginia's leading authentic peer-to-peer recovery community center for persons suffering from a substance use disorder. So what's going on, man? How you doing, Jordan? Good, man. So how's your day going so far? Oh, it's going good. Going good? Good. All right. So.
And obviously I sped the process up here. But we kept getting interrupted the whole time by Michael McDermott and our special guest coming up here.
McShin Foundation. See what it's all about. So, hey, we're live.
We know. We wanted to say hi.
Oh yeah, come on in. Yeah,
Come on in.
Doing a great job.
And honesty.
This This is Honesty. She's our CEO.
Hi, everyone. CEO, Woman in Long-Term Recovery.
Oh my
Awesome
gosh,
Life
that's
Recovery.
crazy.
Recovery.
Hey,
Cricket, what do you do here, Cricket?
a little bit of everything. I'm the project director for SAMHSA Grant. We create and maintain drug programs in the jails. And I'm the managing director at Eco Flats, an apartment style.
Oh, gosh. It's a long
I'm
time
Alden
ago.
Gregory. I'm the Director of Development here at McShin.
She's not an addict. She's actually the only person here that is not an addict. So I call her an earth person. But
Earth person.
She's amazing. She's been such a help to us, and she really loves us. Right now we're talking about early recovery, like what it's like when you first get here.
That first
I get to
episode,
surround myself every single
was
day with
all
some pretty
jacked up.
awesome people.
we had the microphone facing the wrong way.
Nice.
We had the people cut off. Like, it was a total nightmare. We kept getting interrupted like all day. And, you know, so, but it was cool because it was like the birth idea. If you look at the old Get in the Herd logo, it's like a lasso.
Mhm.
You know, it was, you know, so.
Shout out to Kyler who did the new logo, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
big shout out to Kyler.
And Jordan who came up with the name and started the foundation of it.
Hope dealers.
Look at it. One microphone. I'm looking around the room here. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Like we do.
That was awesome.
And we love y'all.
So, you know, I mean, this kind of shows you, like, you know, just kind of where we've come from as far as, like, you know, the whole podcast. But, you know, I figured, you know, I was like, we might as well, before we kick it off, we might as well go back to the roots. So, you know,
No, I think that's cool because one, you get to see the progression of the technicality and the production side of things and just like kind of getting in a rhythm. And then at the same time, you can also see these similarities where Jordan is just like, this is what we are and what we do is try to help other people in recovery. We are people in recovery, which is still exactly what we do here now. You know what I'm saying? So like Jordan really made the onset of like what we're trying to do here at all is really just the same.
Yeah.
We just might have a little bit more emphasis on, you know, some of the politics and advocacy work and current events, but that's just a participant check-in, which is what we still do to this day, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, like going back, whenever I looked at this video after I went back and looked at it, I was like, there are so many similarities from then to now. You know, I mean, that was back whenever I first had come in, like in a volunteer status, and so we had really tried to kick up these live feeds where we're doing a lot of them, and then you know, but I mean, the Get in the Herd idea was we kicked the can on that a couple of different times, you know. So this is, you know, but Jordan did an amazing job, like really, like trying to get that thing and promote it. You know, this is back we were doing a lot more YouTube. I mean, we still do YouTube stuff, but you know, like I don't know, we've kind of. It's funny the foundation that was laid with that, like how it still sticks today. Because
nowadays like Facebook is like the YouTube aggregator when you really think about it.
Right. And we were doing like live groups, but you know, we were so new to the live feed technology that you know that it was rough, you know. So
We had 15 people in here at one point around the table, and that got kind of messy. But
For sure.
you know, I like one camera, one microphone, really raw. You know, no headphones. I like the headphones.
Yeah, me too, personally.
So, and you know, speaking of rough, you know, our first ever episode of Get in the Herd was the same deal. We were using the same layout for the program then. The internet was going in and out all day.
Oh yeah.
And so we were going to do an episode with Bob, and you know, and basically I had to handhold my phone the whole time. That was our very first. Yeah, that was our
Nathan,
first
you did
one.
that one, right?
Yep. So, and here's
Oh, God.
that, so.
Blast from the past.
You can see my hair a lot shorter.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Nathan Mitchell, and I'm here with Bob Detchake. He's the men's program director. Oh, look at us. All right, there we are. It's the men's program director. Oh, man, I just went to the gym and I look fat.
I still say that all the time.
All right.
Well,
Anyway.
I don't go to the gym.
Welcome, Bob. We're here to talk about what's getting in the herd, talk about what separates the McShin Recovery Resource Foundation from other RCOs, and your special pet project.
Yes, I guess I'm the guinea pig for the first run of this. I think the idea was
Jean jackets
due to this
rule.
coronavirus going around that we're gonna start doing a little more live streams. I think throughout throughout the days, the weekends, and stuff like that. I think that's the overall goal, right?
I think so.
We just know what we're doing.
Yeah, we still don't, but you know.
So we've been taking a very proactive approach to the coronavirus. You brought that up, and this is a
Sitting
good
there
way
with
for
no
us
mask.
to continue to be
Wow.
connected while we're in this, whatever this is, while we're trying to
Whatever
call
this is.
that,
Well,
stepping back.
and we have the
Um,
vortex of
It's a word.
infinity going on behind you there.
The
because
box
we're-
in a box in a box. Trippy.
It is a bit.
So, anyways, so that was kind of looking back to like the very first one. I thought that, I mean, the dialogue, it was a 20-minute podcast.
Jesus.
And that was, the dialogue, and Bob was not very open. I thought he would have been a lot more receptive that day to actually doing a podcast, because we were like, okay, we got the perfect pick. And then Bob was like mesmerized, and it might have been the screen of infinity that was going on behind him.
Yeah.
Maybe he got lost because he would wave his hand, and it would take like 10 seconds for it to see it wave, and another 10 seconds you see another wave, going down the vortex. So but I mean that was the very first one, and then that was.
And Bob's great. Bob used to be the director of men's programs here. He was actually in here yesterday, I think, for that house
Yeah.
meeting. And I it's interesting seeing kind of like the reboot,
Right.
the
Right.
quote unquote reboot.
Well, yeah. Well, and it wouldn't even have been handheld that day except for the internet. So I mean, the relaunch was a great idea, and then all hell was breaking loose. And so I was like, so I was like, screw it, I'll just do it with my phone. So then one of my this is my last favorite episode.
Wait, before I want to say something. I meant to say this with the last clip, the previous clip before Bob with Harold. I just recently saw Harold on a Facebook post around Christmas, and I didn't talk to him, but it looked like he's doing okay. Anybody have you talked to him? Did you
I never
know
met
him?
Harold. No.
Oh, yeah. So, Harold, if you're listening, hit us up. Let us know how you're doing. I'll reach out to you on Facebook and say hello. So, hey, there's Jordan. Jordan Sachs is watching.
Jordan,
what's up,
Jordan,
brother?
dude. Yeah, man, we were just talking about you.
Yeah, I mean, like I said with Jordan, he really did a great job with just
Yeah.
getting that laying that foundation there, and it's really just blossomed. And so the
He's still doing some good work
yes,
out
yes,
there. So
great
definitely try to give him like a follow. I think Jordan, maybe you can answer this for us. I'm pretty sure he's still doing like film for another RCO Starfish Recovery. So
No, actually, he's over at David Rooks.
okay.
Yeah, so he's not with Starfish. So, but yeah, but
Either
he's
or,
still in
still
the
doing the
recovery
work,
space.
man.
But he's doing a lot of great work in the community. A lot of great work in the just in the recovery community itself. And we were just speaking on the phone last night about some potential stuff that we may be looking at doing. So,
Well, Jordan, we'll need you to pop in for the podcast tonight. Oh, we need to plug this.
Yes,
Tonight at 10 p.m. until 12:30, we will be watching the ball drop.
So it's not going to be a live feed of
No.
us watching the ball drop. We have
Y'all just sitting there holding hands, watching it.
so we have guests, and I may kick that trivia back in there a little bit, and then Nathan's trying to get some music lined up. So-
Joey, I'll
I
talk
had a
about
few
you,
people
Joey.
that reminds me come up and say that they were watching it. They just didn't feel confident enough to vote
right
on the
on the trivia.
for the answers. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, we definitely will be continuing to kind of try out the trivia.
Yeah, that's a great thing about this is we continue to grow and to learn,
Mhm.
and we've learned that Dead Space is terrible. So, anyway, I know you want to go to the next clip.
But no, yeah. So this is my last one, and then I'll give you guys more time on yours. So mine, my last pick was. This is probably the episode that I knew that this dynamic that's sitting in front of me right here was going to work. So it was the very first time Nathan actually had interviewed Alex. So,
Aw,
Feels like the first time.
Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Nathan Mitchell. I'm a person in recovery from substance use disorder. I'm also the Community Outreach and Advocacy Coordinator with the McShin Recovery Resource Foundation. Coming to you today from a secret location deep in the heart of the Hatcher Memorial Baptist Church. I'm here
Such
with my
a dork.
colleague and my friend Alex Bond. Alex, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Alex, person in recovery from substance use disorder. I'm also a peer leader here at McShin, a house leader at Clark House, and volunteer community outreach coordinator for a nonprofit organization, International Recovery Day, and kind of gave myself that title, but I don't think Winslow will mind.
I like it. I would say you could even give yourself the title of outreach director. Really, you're in a
Winslow
position
called
to
me the
just give whatever
senior
title you want.
outreach
Talk about
coordinator.
that, actually, if you can start with that.
That's awesome.
Well, International Recovery Day is a global event to spread awareness of the multiple pathways to recovery from substance use disorder, as well as celebrate and connect friends, family, and people in recovery. So essentially what it is an international awareness day on September 30th this year. I think it's the first of what ought to be, hopefully in the future, an annual event. What I'm personally trying to do for the event is light a bunch of buildings and structures throughout the nation purple to help spread that awareness.
Excellent. So you've had quite a long list of people who have agreed to do this. And it's not just national. You've got some international buildings as well. And I realize this is the international day. There are other people working on this as well, I think, right?
Yeah. There's actually a whole steering committee of other people ranging from Scotland to Canada, UK, here in America. I mean, John Schinholzer is a part of the steering committee. And John Winslow, the founder, is retired from being in the substance use disorder recovery community. I mean, he's still involved, but he used to be a counselor and also has 40 years clean himself. So he then made this nonprofit organization to help spread awareness of substance use disorder and celebrate those in
how many buildings
recovery.
have you gotten, or how many structures?
65.
65. And those are all United States. I think you've got some.
I think we ended up with
Yeah,
like
I've got
90.
probably like
Wow.
maybe at this point 15
Pretty
to 20
successful.
in Canada, including entire cities.
Okay.
90
Recently
buildings
got the
and
3D Toronto sign, which is
the
kinda
Niagara
cool. I mean, that's
Falls.
like a
So
landmark up
cool.
there. Currently working on Niagara Falls.
That
Lit
would be,
purple.
He got it too.
I think that'd be really eye catching.
Yeah.
And the Empire State Building at the same time.
That didn't
I'm kind
happen.
of, trying to
Well,
build our
goals.
social media and get the word out and get people registered to the website. So then when we come with them with an application, they'll be more willing to say yes.
That white frame. Ooh, I do not like that white frame. This is what happens when we have too much coffee here in the show.
I
Too
wanted
many
to
monsters.
share, and I'm grateful that you sat with me. I wanted to share some of the things
Thanks
that
for
we've
having
been working
me.
on. Yeah, some of the things that we've been working on as far as getting the McShin Foundation out there, as far as getting recovery out there, and as far as just demonstrating that we are not bad people, showing that we in recovery are here to help. We are the solution right here. This is the solution. Recovery is the solution to addiction every day.
Mm-hmm.
Connections.
Every
And that's what
day.
we do here at the McShin Recovery Resource Foundation. So again, my name is Nathan, person in not in long-term, sustained recovery. I'm not going to take that long-term yet. I'm a person in recovery from substance use disorder. I'm here with Alex Bond. I appreciate you. If you want.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. This is really cool, important stuff, I think.
I promise you tomorrow, if I do this again tomorrow, or the next time I do this, I'll have a little more coffee in my system, so I'm a little more jumpy. But thank you, Todd, for all of your hard work.
Appreciate you, Todd.
Yeah, appreciate you. And what is it that we said yesterday? I closed with something goofy. Like Motel 8, we'll leave the lights on. Yeah, all right, anyway.
Cute.
Again, Nathan Mitchell. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. What? Todd, you're over there gesticulating.
Yeah, I'm trying to give you like hand signals so you guys know how much time's left on the video clip. But maybe I'll just give you ahead of time and let you know how much time is on the clip. Because your guys' clips are about 4.5, 5 minutes apiece.
Okay.
So, but anyways, I just wanted to let you know. But yeah, no, I
Who
mean,
picked that one? You did?
I picked that one because
That's
that
beautiful.
was the first time
My
that
buddy.
it was the first time
Oh.
you two ever actually were on a set together. And then Nathan, you left not too long after that to do your Addiction Across America tour. And I don't know, it just clicked in my head. I was like, Alex was a great guest.
Yeah.
I was like, he would, well, and I think that I may have approached you about the after hours before that.
Yeah, I think Alex, because I did not want anything to do with the after hours.
Right,
So,
right.
And and that perhaps a decision. It turned out to be fantastic, and I'm glad that Alex got to do it. I'm glad I didn't have to do the late night stuff, but I do like the late night stuff now. I'm glad it's there.
Yeah, I mean it's good. I mean, and even like this, like piggybacking on this, I still like. I don't know. You guys have a chemistry that works, and and I just I think I've been an advocate. Well, not that there's never been any negative comments, anyways. But I've advocated all the more for you guys because I really love what you guys do. So
Thank you.
that was my first, and then Nathan.
Well, I think I just want to jump in to say I think the foundation. I'll say that for the 20th time today. I think the real root of why our chemistry works is because we love each other as people, Nathan.
Yeah.
I think like more than just like podcasters or colleagues or anything like that. I mean, you and I connect on a emotional level. You know what I'm saying, buddy? So like, I think anything professional is going to be supported by that sort of natural chemistry that we have.
Well, can I tell how I felt? When
Whatever, you please.
so truth be told,
that little side whatever will probably help explain what Nathan's about to say.
I tell you. So I like to think of myself as an open-minded person, but that's not always the case. And I know when I first met Alex, I said, "This little freaking arrogant, precocious punk." And I think if I'm being slightly obnoxious, I think it's because I realized there's a lot of me in there. And that's I think why, if we've grown to really connect, it was really that trip, with the trip to Roanoke and meeting your family, well, your parents. And stay. It was a wonderful stay too.
Shout out to Hotel Roanoke.
Shout out to
They get a
Hotel
free
Roanoke and Sakova for having that conference that we attended. But I think it was really that to be able to build that relationship, driving back and forth and having fun. So yeah, I'm glad that my opinions changed on that because you're absolutely one of my best friends today.
Are you saying you were wrong and promptly admitting it?
Well, I was wrong, and sometime later finally admitted it.
No, it's not like you were wrong about me being arrogant, which is factual. But I'm just glad that I do that with people all the time. Is cast judgments. So it's nice to give people the opportunity to prove them wrong or prove yourself wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Well, right, and I also know, in my recovery, I know that my first thoughts aren't necessarily good thoughts, and so. Even though I have a first thought, I don't go with my first thought anymore. I sort of question, especially if it's a negative one. I'm like, what is it that's disturbing me and why is that disturbing me? What can I do to change that, affect that, And sometimes it means, okay, well, that person doesn't need to be in my life. But with you, it was like, no. This person's got a lot to offer. I want this person in me because I'm growing by knowing this person. So yeah, I've been very fortunate to grow.
Mutual, buddy.
Yeah, thank you,
dog.
And now we're on the same floor here. I love that.
And since we're giving shout outs, I did see that my lovely wife Kelly had commented about the positive things happening in 2020 that happened in 2020. I want to give her some props as well. She's been very, we've been producing this show from our house, for the evening ones. We've been she's been very gracious with her patience and understanding, of the time that's gone into helping make this, possible. So I just wanted to give her, I love her to death. I don't tell her enough that, I thank and I'm grateful for her support. And she really believes in not just, what I'm doing with you guys, but in you guys as well. So,
we love Kelly.
And
yeah. So like another perfect example of how, the professional comes from the personal. So like you and Kelly numerous times have made food or gotten food for all of the houses at McShin and like dropped it off to them. You've gotten like bays at Top Golf for participants. It's just like the fact that she has been as patient and supportive is it doesn't surprise me because we love you, Kelly. We love your husband. Y'all are beautiful.
Kelly is the unsung hero of the entire operation. If it weren't for Kelly, we wouldn't have this. And that's a fact because, we would not have a happy Todd. So we really appreciate that. So you're taking us all out skeet shooting next weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not doing that. That would be, Yeah, I don't think they put that in bays unless we take the guns to the golf course and then just shoot the golf balls as they're being hit.
Oh my gosh, shooting golf balls would be awesome.
I used to shoot walnuts with my my mom's ex-husband, but hey, you know,
Why not?
why not, right? Why not? Oh, I need to date somebody named Kelly now. Both. What is your name? Both Alex and Todd are dating somebody named Kelly. Two different people who happen to be named
And our
Kelly.
COO.
And your COO. Oh, right, Jesse, of course.
Our boss.
Yeah, our
Yeah,
boss
yeah.
is dating a Kelly. Oh my goodness.
Find you a Kelly.
So
That's what we want.
so I
taken
need
away
a,
from
yeah,
this.
but I need a specific. I need a slightly different Kelly than yours.
Kelly's an
Kelly can be a
androgynous name.
Yeah.
What you got for us next, Todd?
All right, so next on the lineup, I gave you guys both two lists, and so Nathan, do you want to go with?
Oh, do it, man! Surprise me. I don't
All
care.
right, we're gonna
Let's
go.
do it.
Yeah,
we're gonna
so the listeners and viewers know, like Todd selected, I guess, these last three clips, and then asked for me to pick two, and then Nathan to pick two from the year that we thought really stood out and were, momentous occasions in
Right.
our personal and podcast experience.
Is the first one the one-on-one with Colette?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
All right,
Cool.
So we're gonna go to that one. There's obviously a big difference here in the level of production.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Get in the Herd. Today is Friday, May 8th, 2020.
what was his
And
name?
today, our very special guest is Colette McEachin. Colette McEachin is the Commonwealth Attorney of Richmond City. She won her seat in a special election November 5th last year after serving as interim Commonwealth Attorney. And I have
And
had
there's
the
about
pleasure of
4
knowing her
minutes
since
on
before
this
she
clip.
won.
So
Is it all me stumbling over primary. words? And after the primary,
No.
we sort of knew where that was going to go from there. So welcome, Colette. I also have as my co-host here, Peter W. He is a participant here at the
Peter.
McShin Foundation. He's some of you who watch this show or hear the podcast regularly will know that he is one of the participants we check in with on Tuesdays the last few weeks. So welcome, Colette, and we're glad to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Is there anything you would like to say to introduce yourself that I missed?
You hit all the high points. Thank you, Nathan and Peter, and thank you, McShin Foundation, for giving me the chance to speak to all your listeners out there. I hope we're going to have a really good discussion.
Excellent. Thank you. Well, we've asked you here today to just continue the conversation around substance use disorder and how the criminal justice, community, including the courts, the jails. We had the sheriff of Henrico County on yesterday, and we talked on how things are happening in the jails right now. But what we wanted to touch on is how things are going, with COVID-19 particularly, but also how we are doing. With the new team in Richmond, how we're doing with courts and working with substance use disorder these days. Colette, any thoughts as we begin the conversation?
I think that things are going as well as can be expected. I think that it's always difficult to get agencies to work together in the best of times. And then when you have a pandemic on top of that, and the health concerns about people doing basic things like keeping the courthouse clean, keeping the jail clean, receiving participants into programs. When you add that as another layer, it complicates matters, but I think it has also brought to fore a lot of things that my agency and the sheriff, and I'm sure McShin, are going to look towards in the future about how to connect with people and how to make people's lives
prison
easier.
still over my head. Is that something? Is that really fair? And that's not a question maybe we're going to answer right now, or I'm going to convince you to change your mind on that right now. But I do think the conversation should be open-ended on this, because I think that we are marching towards continuing to put people of color in jail, people of minorities and into jail, and really creating worse family problems going forward. I do have two other. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
No. But I think you and I would both agree, even if we're not going to agree today, at least on what drug charges should be felonies or not, is that Every jurisdiction needs, to use your word, Nathan, more robust community service boards and treatment centers and rapid access centers, so that when someone is ready to deal with their substance abuse disorder, it can be dealt with. And right now, we don't have that support the way ideally we would have it in Richmond or Henrico or Chesterfield or across the Commonwealth or across the nation. And so agencies and entities that were not designed to treat people with mental health issues or substance abuse issues have to do it because there's no place else at this point for those people to go. So let me ask you, I'm going to put you on the spot. And Peter too. I'm going to drag him in. Okay, so here's my question. If you had not been incarcerated and brought before a court, would you have gotten off drugs on your own?
Oh, you stopped and didn't let me answer.
Well, I'll never know. Answer the question, Nathan.
I stopped it because I wanted you to open the dialogue here. So I thought that because you've often referred back to this moment. You talk about this interview often.
Yes.
And you often talk about that one really impacted you. So I stopped it there. So for the suspense of a better answer, not that the other answer was bad, but a more updated answer as well.
Well, and one of the reasons I chose this clip was because, at that beginning phase, I reached out to some of the local policymakers here that, we've interacted with as McShin and asked them to come on the show. And I still am, but I was really just dipping my toe into interviewing and talking to people one-on-one with that.
And I'll touch on a little backstory here. So you and I were at the Democratic National Election Convention in Virginia, here in Richmond, the night that she was elected.
I forgot
if I recall correctly, right?
You're right. That was I forgot you were with me that
so
night.
Me and you watched her winning her election that night. So we've kind of always had a bit of a connection. With her in that sort of way.
And Colette's been to McShin several times. She has come to 4th of July and Memorial Day. I mean, if you know, her husband, Donald, thank you, Donald McEachin, he represents the 10th. He represents one of our districts here in Virginia. In fact, he's my congressman.
Actually,
where I live now.
He's 6th.
Is he 6th?
I believe so.
Okay. Yeah, the number escapes me, but he represents a lot of Richmond, but his district goes pretty narrow and south. So he's also been here as well. So he's tied in. John Shindles has been really tied in with those guys. But she asked me that question. I thought that was a really amazing question because I hadn't, I really at that point, I've had thoughts on that. But when she asked me that, I think I answered with, excuse me, now I can't talk. I said, well, I don't know. I don't think I don't like to live in hypotheticals, but I didn't have another option. I didn't have another choice. And now I've been saddled with, consequences that go far beyond, what is really required to treat a substance use disorder. As a felon now, it affects my housing, it affects my ability to get student loans, it affects my job prospects, it affects my ability to get a loan, buy anything. So what are the repercussions here? And so I didn't have all of that at my fingertips, but I did say to her, I think I said simply, I didn't have another option. And certainly there must be another way. And that's what we push for here. In the discussions right now, currently we've come now the last several months to this reality that, jails are just laboratories of more hate and criminal activity. And also now we've put a global pandemic that has just completely destroyed, populations in jails and prisons, which doesn't get enough discussion. so people are being released back into society, but people are being released early. And on the one hand, that's great because I sit in on those conversations where we need to do that. But on the other hand, if we're releasing people without having, a good home plan, without having access to recovery solutions, we're really not doing anyone any good at all. And certainly least of all the person who's coming out. So it just drove the point with me when she asked me that there's so much more we need to do to make sure that we show that recovery is the solution. The solution isn't to lock people up, that recovery is not only possible, but it is the solution to the problem. So
I think it's a bit speculative. It's a bit hindsight 2020. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's like saying, would you have gotten into recovery if you didn't overdose? I don't know. Like that never happened to me. I'm fortunate, but I know some people yes, and some people no. I can tell you the vast majority of people who've gone to jail with a substance use disorder don't come out fighting for recovery. No, you know what I'm saying? Or don't stay in recovery. The vast majority. So I don't know. Actually watching it, I feel like it's a bit unfair to say, honestly, like, because it has been referenced, but I think in the context, it was kind of like I don't know, a stiff arm. A little bit, and because I think it was a very evolved conversation, and I think it's a fair point. But I think the way it's kind of presented is like, I don't know, maybe not.
Yeah, I'm glad that I guess I did
me.
choose it, but I'm glad you chose that moment. Yeah.
And in retrospect, there's a lot more to that clip that I did not put in there, because it was a whole show. But I mean, I could have given your answer, and because she had asked Peter the same thing, but so that's why I cut it off there so you could expound.
No, but I'm glad you did that. And of course, I guess that's what I was thinking when I chose this clip. But seeing it, because that's the first time I've seen it since the show. I don't particularly care for watching or passion. I don't like seeing myself. It's actually kind of gross.
Unlike me, who puts it on when I leave just to hear how it sounded. Because when I'm working here,
because you're not the one talking.
Well, I'm not focused. I mean, I'm focusing on watching you guys, but I'm not focusing on what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I always go back and listen to it afterwards. But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, you're good. You're good. And I'm glad we had that conversation with Colette. And what you've reminded me is that I should follow up with her and just say hello and Happy New Year, because I haven't done that yet.
And that was 7 months ago. So how do you think she's done since that conversation? Has she held up her end of the bargain?
I've seen a lot of different things coming out of Richmond. I know that they dealt with COVID in her court, not her court, in her office. So it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag all the way around, really. And I'm not going to jump on her and make blame on this. I think people are really working to make the best of a terrible situation. Sure. Most people are. Most people are. I think there are certainly bad actors trying to do bad things just because they can. But I think, most people are trying to do the best they can. And sometimes the best one person can might be at complete odds with the best that somebody else can. And that's, where we try to find that middle ground. And, I'm a middle ground guy. And not that I'm a milquetoast. I love that word, milquetoast.
Milquetoast.
I just, I want to find common solutions that work for, everybody. So.
Yeah. So shout out to Colette.
Yeah.
We love to have you on maybe again in that exact same time period and do like a year check-in or something like that to see, I don't know, reopen the dialogue or anything like that. Cause I didn't have the opportunity to have that conversation. So I'd love to throw my 2 cents in as well. I think that'd be really important.
Well, and so I'm glad you say that, because I'm like listening to the two of us, in the very first episode with the two of us, and listening to me talk to Colette, and I know where we were then and where we are now in terms of our own personal education and how we interact with people, and the outside worlds or spheres that we are part of. The recovery advocacy part that I do, well, you are an advocate too, whether you're technically, your job title has it or not, you're constantly asking questions and learning and growing and using that information to inform. So that makes you an advocate by definition. And so as you continue to do that, as I continue to do that, we have more informed answers.
Sure.
So it's not, we can sit there and talk more eloquently. And then, what we're doing is part of the recovery advocacy project that I'm a part of, that McShin is a part of, and I am personally a part of. And as far as the Virginia Recovery Coalition, which I'm a part of, other places where we work with coalitions and individuals to put together to find common solutions.
Sure.
Now we are starting to build platforms. And so right now with the Recovery Advocacy Project, we've done a few listening sessions. We're putting together a platform. And one of those platforms, one of those pieces is making sure that we have enough funding to get into the authentic recovery support services, which includes, putting sustainable is not the right word, but putting programs in jails. I mean, that's, peer-driven programming in jails.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that we need for the individuals who, aren't on, who are there. And then of course, declassification, which would, declassify simple possession charges from a automatic felony to a misdemeanor, which, to me is a no-brainer,
Sure.
frankly. So I don't want to ramble on too much more.
Yeah, and the very last thing I would say about it would be, so the jail got me into recovery. Well, let's say I concede that. What does me going back to jail clean do?
Yeah, right.
At that, you know what I'm saying? So that would kind of be my other flip side, would be, sure, I'll concede that after I went to jail, I did come into recovery and I am still clean in recovery. What about when I go to jail after being a year clean? Mm-hmm. If the goal is for me to get in recovery, what it's supposed to just punish me? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'd love to talk with her, hopefully around that same time period, May or something like that. So thank you for sharing that clip, Nathan.
And our next clip would be Nathan. You were on the road at this point.
You
were on the road.
Yeah. So I don't know. Let me know if you want me to roll the whole thing on this or not. I mean, there wasn't any. I mean, I think it's about 4 minutes.
Oh,
so
right.
if you just want,
there wasn't a particular moment in that.
Okay. All right. I'll go ahead and play it. So.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Get in the Herd After Hours. I'm your host, Alex Bond. I am a recovery coach and peer leader at the McShin Foundation. Get in the Herd After Hours is a recovery podcast from the McShin Foundation. I'm also a person in recovery from substance use disorder, which means that I've not found the need to put any mood or mind-altering substances in my body since September 23rd. I'm here with Garrett, Nathan, Ryan. How are we doing, gentlemen?
All right.
Good. How are you?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful.
Garrett and I, we've been working on like very little sleep, getting ready for Mobilize. Nathan is
Probably getting sleep.
Driving across the country, and you're introducing us from home in Richmond. So I think you're probably doing the best out of all of us right now. So.
Nice and comfortable, aside from the fact that it's been raining like all day.
Everything's good,
Yeah, so this is kind of y'all's show to run. Nathan, you can go ahead and take it away, my friend.
Hey, Alex, I'm glad to see you. Good to see you. Garrett and Ryan, I'm really glad to see you too, and I'm glad that you haven't been crushed under the weight of this enormous task that you've been under. So,
Yeah.
Still
some time left.
Well, it's funny because I know what comes next.
So what's going on, guys? You got an easy week ahead of you? Anything special going on?
I can tell you, I want to hear about your trip, if that's okay, because you're tuning in from a car right now, which has my interest peaked. But
it's quite metaphorical.
I think
Mobilize.
So Nathan called me, I don't know, 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago. And he said, I think I'm going to drive across the country. And he gave us the dates he was leaving Virginia. He wanted to stop in some cities, and he wanted to drive out here to.
Nathan, comments?
Well, look, that's a great clip to demonstrate the flexibility of what we can do.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny. I'm looking at that because I know what was going on that day for me. I was in Utah. I was in Salt Lake City. I think I was in Salt Lake City. This was right before I got to Nevada, and I was riding around trying to find enough signal to join the call, enough mobile data. from the stars and whatever satellites and nonsense. And so I finally did. I was sitting in a park somewhere, with kids all around too. So I must have looked a little creepy. And the only way I could do it was that I had that sun right in my face. So I'm sorry about that. But the reality, though, is that we had 4 people in 4 different locations all across the country. And we did this a lot. We've done this a lot, since. And we were really doing that when I got on the road. We did that a lot too. And to be able to do, that sort of coverage and that sort of work was really, really cool.
Yeah, the closest to being connected that we possibly could be for being in literally like 4 completely different parts of the nation.
Yeah. And what I know about that, so that's Ryan Hampton and that was Garrett, right? Yeah. So
Awesome
that was
guys.
Ryan Hampton and Garrett Haid. So the 2 of them are part of the Recovery Advocacy Project, Mobilize Recovery, Recovery Voices. And they really helped me on my trip, but they've become sort of mentors for me personally in my recovery advocacy work, and sort of mentoring also McDonald's.
The Golden Arches.
Not a plug.
We're really trying to get that sponsorship, aren't we?
We're really recovery. I'm loving it.
And this Starbucks cup right here, not at all. McShin, really helping McShin in our advocacy and here in Virginia. So the 2 of them have been incredible champions of recovery as people in recovery, but also just what we do. So we were getting ready for Mobilize Recovery, which is a big conference that happened digitally because of the pandemic, but was supposed to happen in Las Vegas. And then I don't know, I don't think we knew at the time, but those 2 were just about to get COVID. So they actually had COVID during Mobilize Recovery. And they were doing the whole thing, from their apartment. The 2 of them, I think, share a house together. So it's their house. So yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Sorry, I created dead space there by looking at you. I was trying, because I can't see Alex around this dang. Like, nobody can see this that's watching and obviously listening.
Todd tries to get my attention all the time, but there's a light right in
there's
front
a
of him.
giant light that blocks our visual. So.
And I just look at him and go, what the heck is he doing with his hands?
Right. So, and then, I wasn't trying to cut you off. We're just at the 47 minutes.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's fine. I told Jamie to cover my group if need be. So
well, no, he's got to get out of here too.
Well, I have a training at like 3:30.
So this is about you, Todd.
Yeah, today it is actually. No. But today. So our next clip, we have, you had the one with Tyler and Mike.
Okay. Tyler and Mike?
I'm sorry, Tyler
Jeff,
and Jeff.
right?
Yeah, Jeff.
Yeah. So,
and it's nothing, it's kind of like the last one. There's nothing super, unless you want to just expound upon
no,
it.
really, it was just like, so anyone who saw it recently, I think it was an After Hours episode, we had Tyler on recently, and Jeff has been on probably 4 times now.
Welcome to Get in the Herd After Hours. I'm your host, Alex Bond. I am a peer leader and recovery coach at the McShin Foundation. This is a recovery podcast sponsored by the McShin Foundation. And again, I work for them. I'm also in recovery from substance use disorder, going on 11 months clean. And I have a couple wonderful guests with me today. I got Tyler Thompson and Jeff Breedlove. How are we doing, gentlemen?
Doing great, thanks.
Happy to have you on. Yeah.
Saw Claudia Hamilton was on here. Maybe she'll say they weren't a complete waste of her time. But we'd love to be able to have anybody from anywhere join us. And coming up is National Recovery Month, right? In September. And International Overdose Awareness Day on August 31st. On Monday on our website, we'll have 2 templates up there of proclamations. One for August 31st itself for Overdose Awareness Day and one for Recovery Month. Take those proclamations off our site. Email your governor and say, hey, how about doing a proclamation for these 2 events in our state, Governor? I'll tell you this. In the interest of time, I've worked for our governor, one of our governors, and I've worked for members of Congress. They're more scared of you than you are of them, especially with social media. They want to win votes. So they want to build alliances. Don't be afraid to ask them to do legitimate professional things for our cause. And more times than not, they want to say yes.
They definitely want to.
And then, obviously with this one, there wasn't a lot of dialogue that I could find in there for this. So I didn't want to override your clip. But the next one is the one that actually I did want you to have play out the full way, because that was
okay. Well, yeah. Let me talk about this one for a second. Why I picked this one. So, one of the main things that I like about this is, so Tyler is a person that is he literally works for an organization called Speak Up About Drugs. So he is very vocal about his recovery, about what his intentions are in being in recovery. And if you saw the recent podcast, it shows. He's a very authentic person. And then kind of on the other end of the spectrum, but with the exact same goals, is Jeff Breedlove. So Jeff has worked on Capitol Hill, has worked for the federal government, and then eventually it was found out that it came out in some sort of way that he had a substance use disorder, and was kind of ostracized by federal government and the community that he was a part of, and then created and has been foundational in the recovery community. So now they both are very different people with the exact same goal, and that's destigmatizing substance use disorder. I also wanted to say that Jeff is one of the smartest minds when it comes to legislative politics and kind of the inner workings of government that I've been fortunate enough to have on the show and speak with. And it was just kind of cool how all three of us had this dialogue, and how we are proud of being in recovery, even though it takes some sacrifices sometimes.
Yeah, dead space there. But I don't know that I don't know if I've been on the show with Jeff. I know that well, maybe I was once, but I know he's been on a few times. Both of them have been on a few times, right? But I do remember listening to one of the episodes with Jeff while I was driving somewhere around the mountains. I listened to your show a bunch while I was traveling. So he's a really good guest.
Yes.
He's a really good guest. He's got a lot of information, and his story is really compelling. So yeah, good clip.
Absolutely. So I guess the last one we have.
This is your last one, and this is a good 6-minute one. So, but this is a very special moment, a very special night. There's a little pre-story to yours, because you were, I'd found out that you were celebrating the year.
Yeah.
And I contacted your mom, and I contacted Kelly. And obviously, one of our favorites is Mike Todd.
Yes.
So I'm very. I like him a lot. So that's probably why he's on here a lot. But anyways, but this was the result of that. So this was your 1 year, and this is one that you picked. So obviously, it meant something to you.
Yeah, for sure.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Get in the Herd After Hours. After Hours. I'm your host, Alex Bond. Get in the Herd is a recovery podcast brought to you by the McShin Foundation. My name's Alex. I am a jack of all trades and master of none, full-time employee at the McShin Foundation. I'm a house leader here at Clark House in the McShin Foundation. And
not anymore.
More importantly, a person in recovery from substance use disorder. What that means is that for 365 days today, I have not found it necessary to put any mood or mind-altering substances in my body. Thanks to the McShin Foundation and recovery, and these three beautiful people, and the one behind, Todd, our producer, have been a great support system to me throughout this time. I've got Mike, the Bullhorn Todd, on today.
Mike, the Bullhorn.
My beautiful girlfriend, Kelly Staples, and my lovely, lovely mother, Debbie Wright. How's it going, guys? Great.
Good.
Wonderful. Thank you. I'm glad y'all can come on. So, Mike, why don't you introduce you are now the most frequent guest to be on Get in the Herd.
And he still has
Hours,
that title.
And it's a wonderful delight.
We need mugs.
Mike, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody?
Yetis.
I'm getting fans. Fan bases like this, like
Give the people what they want.
Everybody wants to hear from the old man. No, Mike Todd, I'm from Freedom Recovery Center in Greenville, South Carolina, and a fan of Alex's, okay, but a really
Amen.
big fan tonight. And I am a person in long-term recovery. I'm a state lead for Recovery Advocacy Project for South Carolina, and living an incredible life in recovery today that, hey, we can talk about a little bit later, because I'm reminiscing, because I'm thinking about my first year, which was like a long time ago, but not real long ago. So good to see you.
Well, I'm very happy to have you on, brother. We'll talk about that journey a little bit. Also with us is Kelly. How are you doing? Would you like to introduce yourself to everyone?
Yeah, I'm Kelly. I'm also a person in recovery. I've been clean for a year and a couple weeks now. And I'm glad to be back and glad to be on and, getting to talk with you. Proud of you for your year.
Well, I'm proud of you for yours. And to those who don't know, Kelly is reporting live from Las Vegas right now.
Yeah, I'm in Sin City celebrating my clean I can do it today with some self-control and, good people being with me here, which is good. So.
It's all about that support system, indeed.
Yeah.
Happy to have you on. Mom, why don't you introduce yourself?
Okay, I'm Debbie Wright, and I wear a lot of hats. I have a lot of little roles. The most important one is I'm the mom of this guy right here, Alex.
I'm
so
the mom.
proud of him. Todd reached out today and asked me to be on the podcast, and Alex knows this is really not my wheelhouse, this kind of thing, but there's very little I wouldn't do for him, so here I am.
Oh.
I'm so happy you're on. I mean, my mom is like the #1 super fan. She watches every show and comments on every show.
Oh, wow.
And I think this is the perfect opportunity for you to finally come on. And I couldn't be happier. I'm so delighted. This is a great surprise that Todd sprung on us. And I'm just overall grateful today. I don't know, Mom, one of the things that like sticks out to me, it's so simple, but one of the things that really sticks out to me in this last year was I came home to Thanksgiving, and it was right after Thanksgiving, and I was just kind of like goofing off a little bit. I think I was goofing off with Grayson and you in like the dining room or something like that. And you just looked at me and you were like, I don't understand why you drink, Alex. And it was a very like, you just said it very like casually, but it was something that actually like really stuck with me, because it was kind of it was a compliment in saying like, you were like, you're so bright and funny. I don't understand why you think you need to drink or something like that. And it's something that I've really like kept with me. And one of the major positives of recovery to me was I like really honed and found my identity more than I have like in any other part of my life. And that moment was a very integral part of that. And first off, I just want to say thank you, because it was just a very kind, motherly thing to say, but it's actually something that stuck with me really hard. And I was wondering how you, if there's anything, say, prior to recovery or during this last year that may have stuck out with you in a very similar fashion.
Oh, well, it would definitely be during this year, and there's a ton of things. But it's interesting that you brought that up, because I don't remember that. I mean, I can imagine that happening, and I sort of remember it now that you say it, but I guess I didn't think much of it when I said it, so I didn't.
Let me expound a little bit then, Mom, not to cut you off, but I remember you said,
not to cut you off.
Alex, I don't understand why you drink. And I was like, little do you know, I'm drunk right now. And then you went, stop it.
Typical. But
oh boy.
I guess the thing is that what you just said about finding your identity or discovering your identity, I feel like that's what I have seen happen to you. And not to me, because I've known you your whole life, and I remember what you were like when you were little. I remember what you were like as a little boy in elementary school. And I feel like you've got more back to that. The Alex that I remember as a kid that just had joy, because he was a joyful little kid, you know. And I guess when you were drinking and through those years, you kind of lost that. And I see that coming back out in you. And so maybe that's what I was seeing that day when I said that, or that night when I said that. I was like, you just so much more relaxed and yourself sober, and you're so fun yourself. So it was like, I guess
my mom's gonna make me cry.
I guess that's where it comes from.
Oh, that is the most precious thing.
Thank you, Todd. I picked that, and I'm glad that you picked that section of it, is because like that was a really special podcast for me. So that was my year, my actual day that I got a year clean, and that part in particular and that anecdote is important to me because my mom is the only frame of reference for my entire life. Oh, and my dad, you know what I'm saying? Like those two are the only people that have known me my entire life and can see the progression downward and the progression upward. You know what I'm saying? Is that kind of true with you too, Nathan? I mean, that's just like, that's why that's such a special moment for me, is because I've been able to kind of give her what she's always wanted, and that's me being happy.
Yeah, I see that. How brave to have your mom on the show. I'm so glad that I would be bawling
What was
my
I
eyes
going
out
to do?
to
Say
have my
no,
mom.
you can't come on after Todd already asked her?
Well,
no, I would never do that. I would
It's a trap.
never do that. And I'm
Trap.
glad you sprung that trap on me, but
yeah. I have a similar arc with my mom as well. Maybe not my father as much, but my mom certainly. And as the oldest, and you're the oldest too, aren't you? You just the brother?
Well, I have two older stepbrothers and then a younger brother.
And your younger brother, that's Grayson, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think I've met anybody. Oh no, I did meet somebody in your family during Recovery Fest. Who was with them?
Oh, probably my nephews.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say there were some
That's
people.
my stepbrother's two sons. Yeah.
Okay. Aw. But yeah, that's awesome to have mom up there and shouting how wonderful and proud she is of you. And
really special.
Yeah. Aw.
Made me proud, and it made her proud, and it was just a really warm moment. And Dad, I will get you on the pod. My dad's been wanting to come on, and so we got to make a spot for him too, of course. So I'm gonna pair you up with someone, probably Nathan. I think like y'all two would get along. Honestly,
I met your dad, right?
You met my stepdad.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
So
Okay,
my dad Bill will probably get him on. I just think that clip was really, really cool. And yeah, Kelly was in a car at a cookout in Las Vegas during that time. And I was like, man, this chick cares.
Aw.
So
how much money did she lose?
She walked away with a positive. So she won like, I don't know, I think $400 or something like that. Yeah, she like put it on like 3 at the roulette table and ended up winning money.
Oh,
I was like, how lucky do you have to be?
When was your anniversary? In October?
Mine was September 23rd.
September 23rd.
And hers is September 2nd.
Yeah. So she was in
the same
Vegas
year.
September 23rd.
Yeah.
So I had been in Vegas, in August, and I can't imagine that the restrictions had changed much. So
no,
there weren't any shows. There were no more all you can eat buffets.
They went to
weren't
Madame
there.
Tussauds and got to see all the wax figurines.
they?
That was kind of cool.
So yeah, that's
I
cool.
also want to say shout out, Happy New Year, Josh Schmidt. I love you, man. I see you in the comments. So yeah, this is kind of cool little clip show and
That's
everything.
cool.
I can't imagine how taxing it would be to try to take like a minute from each episode or something like that. I bet it was taxing just to do that, Todd.
Well, yeah, because I was trying to find, I overshot the content. I didn't want to do 5-minute clips, but then, it's hard. Like, what do you pick from?
Right.
You know, and especially like editing with a gun to your head.
Yeah.
Like, because I had a time.
On a time.
I knew
yeah.
I had to have it done by a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was like, well, what do I pick? So, I mean, I did a lot of scrubbing and to make sure I found the ones that I know are, emotionally attached to you guys, so, but anyways.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, I guess I want to do this a little more on our next podcast once we're in the new year. But just to end, I want to ask y'all like one big goal that you have this year. What's your, New Year's resolution? I think that is a cheesy way to say it, but at the end of the day, like, what do you want to accomplish this year? I think resolution is usually like there's like a hard, fast boundary restriction, and if you don't fail it, then you're screw up type thing. But what are you trying to accomplish this year, Nathan?
Well, rigidity has never been one of my strong suits. So, rigid ideas. Yeah, I've been thinking about that. Obviously, I used to be one of these people who I know we were short on time, Todd. I'm sorry. I'll wrap it up. I know that for me, I never like to make New Year's resolutions because inevitably I would break them, which is a cop out, as it turns out. I do like having the idea. What am I trying to say? I think my this is going to sound so silly, but my biggest resolution this year right now is to drink more water. Just drink more water.
I think that's good.
I can go from there. Get out of my own way more. Relax, slow down. I want to go so fast. I know, and I can hear my voice. In the previous episodes, although I have no idea. Oh, look at that! Mike Todd is up here.
Hush.
What do you say? I missed that. I missed this. Gotta watch.
Mike, you're the man.
Mike. But anyway, yeah. So to slow down. If this year has taught me anything, and I'm really grateful for this year because I got to do so many things I wanted to do that I didn't expect to be able to do. I got to do so many things that I didn't know I wanted to do, and because of the pandemic and because of the need to cut things out of my life, I've been able to say, you know what, I don't need to put that back into my life. Mm-hmm. I can concentrate on other things. So I'm grateful for that, and that includes people. Some toxicity and myself too. I like old behaviors and things. Just being able to cut out of my life and focus. So yeah,
good answer.
Yeah,
I'll be holding you accountable to that.
Oh, sure.
Todd, what you got, man? What's your goal of the year?
To release my stranglehold on so many of the projects that I hold tight to my vest.
You mean like slow down?
No, not necessarily slow down. I don't know. I have a death grip on wanting the things to be.
Yeah, that gun to your head was you pointing the gun to your head,
right,
wasn't it?
Right. I create all this. Because I have high expectations, and I like to keep things to an extreme, visually pleasing, presentable fashion. And I don't know, sometimes I get in my own head, so I have these really high, lofty expectations, and I'm always trying to up myself on every project that I do, and it creates a lot of stress.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess maybe the ability to release the stranglehold a little bit and step back and realize I don't have to manage every little part of everything that I do.
Mm.
So I'd have other people in my life that can do that as well. So, that's definitely one.
It's big.
So
it's lofty.
Yeah. So, well, it's either go big or go home. So
yeah, I feel that.
And now that we see Mike Todd is in the comments, Mike, I will be messaging you here shortly about a drop-in for just about 10 minutes tonight for the Get in the Herd or McShin Foundation New Year's Blast Extravaganza. I don't know. We don't have a title for it, but so
nothing like last minute.
Yeah. So
I love it.
And that's my other resolution, to get organized.
What?
And have a plan. So I can wing it pretty good with the best of them, but it's great.
Wing it with the best of them.
So,
Happy New Year, Mike. Happy New Year's to Debbie too. You've been great on the pod. We really appreciate y'all.
What about you, sir?
Yeah, you get some glasses.
What?
or a bigger TV.
You get some glasses. I definitely need glasses just in
Both.
daily life. And glasses, TV, more dependable and stable father to my son. And there was something else. I can't remember what it was. Oh, I want to definitely like sponsor people by the end of the year. I said that last year, but I wasn't like in a rush. But now that's like an active goal I want to do, is be able to like sponsor people and maybe do some like actual serious advocacy. Because this is, I don't know, I don't want to like undermine myself or what we do here, but this is kind of like fun advocacy.
Right.
I feel like some Capitol Hill advocacy work kind of would be good. Get a little more involved in the legislative process a little bit, speaking to people face to face. So yeah, those are just some things that I have stirring up and brewing. So Todd, thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Love you, man.
Yeah, no, I love you guys both very much. So I was just saying, I'm very proud of like how far you got. I think we've all come obviously a very long way from all these highlight clips.
Indeed.
So, you know,
We've got visual proof, visual audio proof. Nathan, I love you, buddy.
I love you too, bud.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone.
And I know it's 3:13, but what happens tonight? 10 o'clock to 12:30?
the McShin New Year's
Yeah,
Eve,
10 o'clock.
Palooza, extravaganza,
Recover Palooza.
Right, yeah.
There we go.
We'll have more details later this evening.
It'll be a blast. I'll be in my room. It'll be fun. But we have
extravaganza.
But yeah, there we go. Boom. All right.
We love you guys.
Love
this
y'all.
is Get in the Herd.
Happy New Year.
We'll see you next year.
Bye.
Peace out.
Boom.
Here at McShin, we believe in the McShin way, which is authentic recovery support service providers, people with lived experience, bringing that experience to those who need that lived experience in recovery.
Here at McShin, we believe in many things to support our mission. We believe in women empowerment.
What I love most about what we believe here at McShin is we believe in the authenticity of the peer-to-peer approach.
Here at the McShin Foundation, we believe in equal opportunity.
Here at McShin, we believe in the inherent worth and dignity of every person.
At the McShin Foundation, we believe in helping people reach their full potential.
Here at the McShin Foundation, we believe in multiple pathways to recovery.
Here at McShin, we believe in placing principles before personalities to help spread hope.
Here at McShin, we believe that recovery is possible and that any person seeking recovery can become a more acceptable, responsible, and productive member of society.
Here at the McShin Foundation, we believe in self-discovery.
Here at McShin, we believe in saving lives and offering second chances.
Here at McShin, we believe you can do this.
Here at McShin Foundation, we believe that we can only keep what we have by giving away, which is why we continue to help others like us seek and find recovery.
We'll get there soon. We'll get there soon. We could be any place. We'll get there soon. We'll get there soon.